My mum wasn't who I thought she was, and now they're coming for me. I posted a few weeks ago about finding a locked metal box in my mum's closet after she passed away. I'm sorry for the radio silence since then, but things have gotten complicated. I don't know how to explain this without sounding insane, but I'm starting to think my mum was involved in something way bigger and way darker than I could have imagined. I'm scared, and I need to get this out before it's too late. If you haven't read my first post, check my profile for the backstory. For those who have, here's what's happened since. After I found the box with the letters, IDs with different names, the burner phone, and that photo of my mom in a military uniform from some country I didn't recognise, I couldn't stop digging. It was like an itch I had to scratch. My mum was always so quiet about her past, always deflecting when I asked about my dad or her life before me. I thought she was just private, maybe hurt by whatever happened. But now I think she was hiding from something or someone. The burner phone was dead when I found it, but I managed to charge it with an old universal charger I had lying around. When it powered on, there was no passcode, which felt weirdly careless for someone who'd hidden the phone so well. The home screen was blank except for a single app, a messaging client I didn't recognise, with no name, just a black icon with a red triangle. I opened it and there was one conversation, with a contact labelled Handler. The messages were from 2 years ago, right before Mum got sick. The first message read, "Asset secure, no breaches detected, awaiting extraction protocol." The reply from Handler, "Negative, maintain cover. Kronos is active, do not engage. Kronos." That word again. I'd seen it in one of the letters in the box, scrawled in my mum's handwriting on a torn piece of paper. Kronos must not fall into their hands. I had no idea what it meant, but it sent a chill down my spine. The rest of the messages were cryptic, talking about schedules, drops, and containment. The last one, sent the day before Mum went to the hospital, was just 2 words. They know. I sat there staring at the phone, my hands shaking. Who were they? And why did my mum, a woman who worked as a nurse and clipped coupons to save on groceries, have a burner phone with messages that sounded like they belonged in a spy movie? I kept scrolling, hoping for answers, but the app suddenly crashed, and when I reopened it, the messages were gone, like they'd been wiped remotely. The phone's been dead ever since, no matter how long I charge it. I didn't know what to do next, so I turned to the letters. Most were handwritten, some in English, others in a language I couldn't read, maybe Russian or something similar, based on the Cyrillic letters. One letter, though, was in English and addressed to my mom, but under a different name, Elena Korsakov. It was from someone named Victor, dated 10 years ago. It said, "Elena, you can't keep running. They'll find you, no matter how many names you take. Kronos is bigger than us. If you stay silent, they'll come for her too. Meet me at the usual place. I can get you out." Her. That had to be me. My stomach twisted as I read it again. The letter mentioned a meeting spot, the usual place, but gave no details. I searched the box for more clues and found a faded Polaroid tucked into an envelope. It showed my mom, younger, maybe in her 30s, standing next to a man with a scar across his eyebrow. They were in front of a rusted warehouse, and there was a sign in the background, barely legible. Portside Storage, Bay 17. I live in a small coastal town, and I knew Portside Storage was about an hour's drive away, out by the old docks. It's mostly abandoned now, but I figured it was my best lead. I couldn't just sit on this. If my mum was running from someone and they knew about me, I had to find out what was going on. So last weekend, I drove out there. The place was a ghost town. Rusted shipping containers, broken glass, and graffiti everywhere. Bay 17 was at the far end, a dented metal door half off its hinges. I brought a flashlight and a crowbar from my car, just in case. The air smelled like salt and decay, and the whole place felt wrong, like I was being watched. I kept hearing faint noises, scrapes, whispers, but when I turned, no one was there. Inside Bay 17, it was worse. The warehouse was huge, empty except for a few rotting crates and a table in the centre. On the table was a single object, a small metallic device about the size of a hockey puck with strange glowing symbols etched into it. They pulsed faintly, like a heartbeat. I don't know how to explain it, but the moment I saw it, I felt this overwhelming urge to pick it up, like it was calling to me. Before I could touch it, I heard footsteps behind me. I spun around, flashlight shaking in my hand, and saw a man standing in the doorway. He was tall, wearing a dark coat, his face half hidden in shadow. But I could see the scar across his eyebrow. It was the man from the Polaroid. "You shouldn't be here," he said, his voice low and rough. "You don't know what you're messing with," I stammered, trying to explain about my mum, the box, the letter, but he cut me off. "Eleanor's gone, and if you don't stop digging, you'll be next. Leave, now." I didn't move. I couldn't. My legs felt like they were glued to the floor. He stepped closer, and I saw his hand move to his coat pocket, like he was reaching for something. That's when I noticed the symbols on the device were glowing brighter, faster. The air felt heavy, like a storm was about to break. Then my phone buzzed in my pocket. I don't know why I checked it right then, but I did. It was a text from an unknown number. Run! I bolted. I don't even remember how I got out of there, just that I ran through the warehouse, past the containers, and didn't stop until I was in my car, peeling out of the lot. When I looked in my rearview mirror, the man was standing at the edge of the docks watching me. The device was in his hand, and the symbols were so bright they lit up his face. I haven't gone back, but things have gotten weirder since. My apartment feels off. Lights flicker when I walk by. I keep hearing knocks at my door at night, but no one's there. Yesterday, I found a note slipped under my door. It was just one sentence, in my mum's handwriting. Don't trust Victor. I don't know what Kronos is. I don't know who Victor is, or why my mum was living under fake names, or why strangers are calling me by the wrong name, like the other day at the coffee shop when the barista handed me my order and called me Anya. I've never used that name in my life. I'm scared I'm in over my head. I keep thinking about that device, the way it pulsed, like it was alive. I think it's connected to everything. My mum's past, Kronos, the people who are after me. I want to stop digging, but I can't. I need to know who my mum really was, and I need to know why they're coming for me now. Has anyone else heard of Kronos? Or seen those glowing symbols? I'm starting to think this isn't just about my mum. It's about something much bigger. If I don't post again, well, you'll know why. Reddit, but I don't have a choice. Things are spiraling and I'm running out of time. If you haven't read my last 2 posts, check my profile for the full story about my mum's hidden past, the locked metal box, the burner phone, and that weird device I found at Portside Storage. I thought I could figure this out on my own, but after what happened last night, I'm not sure I'm safe anywhere. I need help, or at least to warn someone before it's too late. After I got that note in my mum's handwriting, don't trust Victor, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying everything. The letters with fake names, the photo of my mum in a military uniform, the cryptic messages about Kronos, and that scarred man, Victor, staring me down at the warehouse. The note felt like a message from beyond the grave, like my mum was still trying to protect me. But from what? And how was she still leaving me notes when she's been gone for months? I decided to go through the box again, looking for anything I might have missed. At the bottom, under a false panel I hadn't noticed before, I found a small key, brass, old, with a tiny engraving of a triangle inside a circle. It looked like it belonged to something important, but I had no idea what. I also found a folded-up map, hand-drawn, with coordinates marked in red ink. The coordinates pointed to a spot about 20 miles outside town, deep in the woods near an old quarry that's been abandoned since the 80s. There was a note on the map in my mum's handwriting. If you find this, it's already too late. Destroy it. I should have listened. God, I should have burned the map right then. But I couldn't. My whole life, my mum was this quiet, kind woman who baked cookies and worked night shifts at the hospital. Now I'm finding out she was... What? A spy? A fugitive? I had to know more. So yesterday I drove to the coordinates. The quarry was overgrown, surrounded by dense pines that blocked out most of the sunlight. My phone had no signal out there, which made me uneasy, but I kept going. The map led to a clearing where an old maintenance shed stood, its door rusted shut. The key from the box fit perfectly into the padlock. My hands were shaking as I turned it, expecting alarms or a trap or something, but the lock clicked open and the door creaked inward. Inside was a small room, maybe 10 by 10, with concrete walls covered in scratches, like someone had clawed at them. In the centre was a metal crate, bolted to the floor. The same triangle in circle symbol from the key was etched on the crate's lid. I used the crowbar from my car to pry it open, and inside was another device, like the one I saw at Portside Storage. It was bigger, though, about the size of a laptop, with those same glowing symbols pulsing across its surface. There was a faint hum coming from it, and the air around it felt thick, like it was pressing against my skin. I reached out to touch it, but before my fingers made contact, the symbols flared bright red, and I heard a voice, clear as day, but not from the room. It was in my head. It said, "Initiate Kronos protocol. Authorization required." I stumbled back, heart pounding. The voice wasn't mine, wasn't anyone's I knew. It was cold, mechanical, but alive. I swear I felt it watching me. That's when I noticed the scratches on the walls weren't random. They formed words, over and over in different languages. Kronos sees, Kronos knows, Kronos waits. My mum's handwriting was there too, carved into the concrete. "I'm sorry, Anya, that name again. The barista called me that, and now it was here, in this creepy shed in the middle of nowhere. I'm not Anya. My name is Sarah. At least I thought it was. My head was spinning, and I felt like I was going to puke. I grabbed my phone to take pictures of the walls, the device, anything that could help me make sense of this. But when I looked at the screen, the photos were corrupted, black with streaks of red light, like the device didn't want to be seen. Then I heard a car engine outside. I froze, listening as it got closer, then stopped. Doors slammed, and I heard voices, low, urgent, speaking in a language I couldn't understand. I grabbed the key, shoved the map in my pocket, and bolted out the back of the shed, where a broken window let me slip into the woods. I hid behind a tree, watching as 3 people approached the shed. 2 were in dark suits, moving like they'd done this 100 times. The third was Victor. He looked different, older maybe, or just more tired. He was holding that smaller device from the warehouse, and its symbols were glowing in sync with the one in the shed. One of the suits said something to him, and I caught the word Kronos again. Victor shook his head and replied, "She's already been here. We're too late." My blood ran cold. They were talking about me. I didn't wait to hear more. I ran through the woods, branches tearing at my clothes, until I reached my car. I drove home, checking my rearview mirror every 5 seconds, convinced I'd see their headlights behind me. I didn't, but when I got to my apartment, the door was ajar. I know I locked Zaitien's system, locked it. I didn't touch anything, just grabbed my bag and left. I'm at a motel now, cash only, no ID. I don't know how they found my place, but I'm not going back. The map and the key are still with me, but I'm scared to use them again. What if that device is still in the shed? What if they're tracking it? And what the hell is Kronos? I keep thinking about my mum, Elena, or whoever she was. Did she hide all this to protect me, or was she part of something worse? I can't stop seeing those words on the walls, Kronos sees. I don't know what it means, but I feel like it's watching me now. Last night I dreamed about the device. Its symbols were burning, and that voice was in my head again, saying, "You can't run from time. If anyone knows anything about Kronos, or those symbols, or people like Victor, please tell me. I don't know how much longer I can keep running." I keep hearing footsteps outside my room at night, and my phone's been getting texts from unknown numbers, random strings of numbers and symbols, like code. I'm starting to think they're not random at all. I'll try to update if I can. If I don't, please, someone find that shed. Destroy that device. I think it's the key to everything.